going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. Babcock here. It's a big day, a highly anticipated day, because Taylor Swift dropped her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl. Well, we're getting stuff in this album that we have never gotten before because, Edward, she's talking about having sex with Travis Kelce. I've never known Taylor to talk about this kind of thing before. This is not a subject she has really touched on, to my knowledge. But here we are.
It's at least implied that it's sex with Kelce.
Yeah, you read these lyrics.
Specifically in one song on the album. It's called Wood.
Okay.
Perhaps unironically.
Right. I don't think that's a coincidence.
In it, she appears to make multiple references to Kelce's junk.
Okay.
Including the words magic wand and redwood tree.
Oh, wow.
So I think we're going to play a little bit for you guys here, and you guys can maybe make the inferences on your own.
Forgive me, it sounds cocky. Hypnotize me and open my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs.
Open my thighs.
Forgive me, it sounds cocky. He, what's amatize? What's that supposed to be?
I think amazed me.
Yeah, he amazed me, amatized me, and opened my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my, not eyes, her thighs.
Right.
Taylor Swift, this is not the traditional or typical Taylor Swift lyrics, is this?
No, it's not, and it's weird because I like to talk to my sister about Taylor Swift albums.
Yeah,
and
good luck doing that now.
From it.
Let's call her,
I did not text her today, and I'm not going to. This is not Taylor Swift, her style, but I mean, her previous albums, she's gotten a little bit more explicit with like words and using explicit language,
right.
But this is not Taylor Swift territory, right? Correct, yeah.
Does this show the influence of Travis Kelce on her and kind of who she is and all that?
Perhaps, but as people get older as artists, their audience also gets older with her too, so I think she's peeling back the curtain a bit more and...
peeling back the curtain?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop there. There's just too many innuendos and references here that
I do think so. I do think this is her, perhaps not evolving is the wrong word, because people will say that she's going down in vernacular, right?
There are a lot of memes about how she is dumbing down her lyrics so Travis can understand.
But at the same time, like in her prior albums, she was sad, depressed, and more inquisitive and more lonely and thoughtful. Now it's all about like fun and flirty and hooking up, and I think you're seeing that reflected in her music. So
let's go do it. It's great. And two, she's got like a childlike quality to her, I think, but she's 35 years old, right? She's not like a 21-year-old anymore. But I do also understand that I'm like texting my cousin this morning, like, hey, what do you think about the album? Like her little daughter's listening to it, so kids listen to it. So I'm sure that not everyone will love it, but this is it. This is the album, and it's not what I ever imagined that we would hear from her. Now, what do Travis's teammates think of said album? Patrick Mahomes, who, of course, he's got a great relationship with Taylor. We know they're friends. They're good friends. They spent a lot of time together. Patrick is super pumped for the album. And don't take my word for it. It's exactly what he said. They're ready to listen to this thing at practice. They're pumped. Watch this.
It's a big day in pop culture. I imagine you were celebrating today as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm super excited. I haven't been able to hear the album yet, but I'm super excited to be able to do that. And it'll be blaring all through the Chiefs facility tomorrow, and we'll be supporting Taylor. And she's put in so much hard work to this, and I'm excited to hear the album just like everybody else.
And no wonder they keep getting thrashed because they're listening to that at practice. And just kidding. Just kidding.
When he listens to this album, when he finally does, he's going to be surprised because there's one song called Canceled.
Okay.
And a lot of Taylor Swift's fans think it's about Brittany Mahomes, Patrick's wife. It's all about how I've been canceled before, and I think one of the lines in the song is about I like my friends with the same scars as I have.
Oh.
So obviously Brittany
because
went
of the
through
Trump stuff.
Yeah, and even remember when she was first dating Patrick and the incidents with fans, spraying champagne on everybody. She had been canceled and now has come back. And, so when Patrick
maybe
tunes
he's talking
in,
about his wife.
maybe he.
Do we
and
believe
Brittany
that
get a
he
little
hasn't
shout-out.
heard the album? I feel like he's heard at least some of it before it dropped.
I think he absolutely heard
Right?
some of it.
When
And
they're hanging out?
I think because if he were to say, oh yeah, I heard some of the album, people are going to be hammering him
Yes.
nonstop. If he has that separation or pretends to
How
at
was
least,
it?
people
Yeah.
will back off just a little bit,
Yeah.
even though you're not going to make these questions stop.
Right.
You know, but I do think if you're the Chiefs, you got to repeat Wood over and over, like embrace it,
Right.
own it. Be like, yeah, that's our tight end right there. And
Right. So if you want to hear Taylor Swift sing about Travis Kelce's penis, you know where to go. All right, moving on to a historic night, a huge night in the Bronx as the New York Yankees defeat the Boston Red Sox in a do-or-die game. They win, the Yankees do, 4-0 behind, and I mean this, no hyperbole here, a historic performance by Yankees rookie pitcher Cam Schlittler, whose name I always say wrong. Who cares how you pronounce the guy's name? He was electric last night. This is a guy who, by the way, just came up this season, this summer, joined the Yankees. He was pitching in Double-A a couple of months ago. Won no Double-A last night. And again, he was dominant. He strikes out 12, walks not a single batter, pitches 8 full innings, probably could have gone the complete game. Again, absolutely historic performance, something that we have never seen done before. 12 strikeouts, no walks, incredible. I actually had an opportunity a little bit earlier today to speak with a guy who knows a little bit about being a young, dominant pitcher in New York City. Talking about Jabba Chamberlain. Of course, like all baseball fans, Jabba locked into the ball game last night. We asked for his reaction. Here's Jabba.
It was nuts. I mean, I thought it was going to be a short lease. Obviously, they didn't need it. But for me, it was his demeanor and how the moment didn't seem too big, right? And we kind of seen that over the course of, when he came up. I mean, he started in Double-A, for gosh sake. He was in Somerset. And that doesn't happen very often. For that kid, and I say kid, I mean, he's 24, to come out and just to be able to not make it too big, to shrink it down to his world, his bubble, whatever that may be. And he's like, they're answering questions. He's like, I got a good night's sleep. Like, that's probably a lie because nobody gets good sleep the night before a game. I don't care who you are. So he might have some like different type of blood or something.
Yeah, it's always hard to believe when you say, I slept good or I wasn't nervous. I mean, how can you not be nervous? But whether he was or wasn't, he was electric last night. And, he may go on to pitch 10 more years for the Yankees and a bunch of big playoff games. He'll never pitch better than he did in a playoff game last night because you can't be better. I mean, he was that dominant.
And perhaps the most impressive part of his night was the post game. He took to Twitter and took some shots, man. He went after, I don't know if you guys saw this, there was a Red Sox fan named Lucy Bird. She's an influencer, a gambling expert, I guess you could call her. And she posted a revealing shot of herself with the caption. There she is. The caption, Red Sox in 3.
Right.
And it went viral for reasons you can see here.
We get it.
And Cam, after he throws this gem, tags her and says, not this year. Not only that, he went off and said, we're sipping on that dirty water, an homage to champagne. And even as of today, Friday, he was going after some Red Sox fans too. So
don't be surprised if those two are dating, by the way, in a month. But
clearly the moment's not too big for him. Like, I did this, I know I'm good at this, I'm going to talk trash afterwards.
Right. You watch the guy throw. He throws 100 miles an hour. It looks effortless. So he's got a great arm and he's got great stuff. But you don't know what someone is going to do in that big moment with the pressure. That's gotten to many talented guys, many talented players before. It did not last night. I think, too, he is from Boston. I mean, he's from, like, a suburb outside of Boston. His dad's a police chief in that area. And he said that some people had been talking about his mom and they had crossed the line. And I think that really angered him, and he channeled that in the best possible way. And he made them pay. And he made them pay afterwards, too, like Ed said.
I think you're going to see a lot more of that social media activity from the younger generation
I like
of
it. I hope
athletes,
so.
and I'm all for it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, run your mouth, especially if you can back it.
do that.
Baseball needs that, right?
Absolutely.
I remember, I forget who was pitching the other day. People complaining about the Yankees pitcher showing emotion after getting a big out. Like that, you need that. Yeah, it was Cruz. Yeah, you need that stuff. He gets in a pressure-packed situation. There's a 400-foot fly ball that's caught on the warning track. I mean, that's a huge out, and I get it. I love to see it, and I thought the post-game stuff was almost as good as he was in the game, and that was electric. Up next, months after the domestic violence incident, Christian Coleman continues to stick by Sha'Carri Richardson's side. The very latest on the U.S. track power couple when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. It's been just over 2 months since U.S. track star Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested for domestic violence at the airport in Seattle. It's a story that we've covered here on TMZ Sports. In fact, we showed you the surveillance video from the altercation. Remember where Sha'Carri was very clearly kind of pushing and hitting Christian Coleman, who you will know is a track star as well, an incredibly talented sprinter. Well, you might say, what is the status of their relationship now? I mean, you got someone arrested. They were obviously fighting, probably not together anymore. Well, Ed, that's not what it looked like this week in LA, as our cameras were outside of LAX, outside of the airport. And who was picking Sha'Carri up from the airport but Christian Coleman himself?
Yeah, and if you know anything about Los Angeles, a trip to LAX is
miserable.
literally the last thing you want to do. So it's a
terrible.
Herculean effort for the person you are doing it for.
You got to really love somebody to go pick him up.
Yeah, and not only that, but he grabs her luggage for her and he opens her car door, which does suggest that they're still together.
Yes.
However, I will say I spoke with our camera guy, Charlie Cotton, who shot this video, and he said it was rather cold between the two. He said when they initially kind of got together, it was more of a side hug, and it wasn't any like kiss or anything like that. So who knows exactly what the relationship status is? But again, like we just talked about, it is a miracle to get to LAX to pick somebody up, and I think you really have to love them. So it does suggest they are still together, or at the very least, they're great friends.
Right,
So.
and I think we've also covered this too. Even just 2 or 3 days after the arrest, he was speaking very glowingly of her, and it was a mistake. And you could tell he had her back, and I think she has had his. So, that doesn't surprise me that she's there for him, despite the fact that, again, she was arrested for domestic violence.
Yeah, and I think the coldness might come from the actual act, and that's going to the airport, which we all know is terrible.
Right,
so he's probably like, hey, what's up? Like, nice to see you. Let's go home, and we'll be fine
and
after
they knew we were there, too, right? Like, she knew we were there.
And Charlie Cotton is someone who, I mean, is very recognizable at LAX. He's been there for over a decade now, so people know that he's associated with TMZ.
Right.
They probably didn't want to be all over the place, but that's completely understandable. Now, I do believe that Christian probably, with what he said publicly and maybe spoke with Nike and other endorsements and stuff, I think that might explain why Sha'Carri is still the face of Nike and Nike Skims and things like that, because he has been so defensive of her.
Coming up, some Padres players stay in the dugout and berate the umpires after they were eliminated from the playoffs. What caused the outrage last night in Chicago? We'll break it down for you next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. The New York Yankees were not the only team to advance to the divisional series. The Chicago Cubs also advanced. They beat the Padres 3-1 last night. But boy, Ed, the Padres were not happy with some of the umpiring during this game, and they weren't shy about letting that be known after the game ended.
Yeah, the Padres were down 3-0 for almost the entirety of this game, and they looked to be making a comeback late. Jackson Merrill hits a home run, and then it looked to spark them a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Xander Bogaerts, I don't know if we have it here, gets called out. You can see it here on a strike that is very clearly not a strike. It's a few inches below the zone, and Bogaerts is going crazy. They ultimately go on to lose the game. And afterwards, they made it clear that they were livid with the umpire crew in a manner that I don't think I've ever seen. Again, you can watch this clip right here. Look at these guys going after the umps in the dugout. It's you see this from fans sometimes, but from players and coaches and managers sitting in a dugout just almost having to be held back by like authorities to get away from. I've never seen anything like that.
I have never seen that either. Never. All my years watching baseball, and obviously, I mean, for the umpires, that's the way they've got to get off the baseball field. So they do that every game. They're walking through one of the team's dugouts to get to the locker room. I've never seen that before, and I think this kind of highlights the fact that people want some sort of replay system in baseball. They want to be able to correct an obvious bad call, and I think that's a bad call. Right? I mean, it's not a strike, and to strike out on a pitch like that's tough. That's tough to swallow, especially in the playoffs when your season's on the line. I think next season we know that there are going to be, I think it's 2 challenges, right? You can challenge essentially 2 pitches during a game, and obviously, assuming the Padres had those challenges in their pocket, obviously they would have challenged that, and that would have been then reversed, and they would have still been at the plate, and who knows what happens in the game. Not everyone loves the idea, though. There are people who like it. There are people who dislike it. How does Jimmy Rollins feel, the former Major League Baseball star? We actually ran into Jimmy recently, and we asked him that very question.
I think it's a good thing, especially in big situations. It's not something like every batter gets used throughout the game.
Right.
It's in big situations. First pitch of the game, you're probably not going to challenge it.
Right.
We got a runner scoring position, bases loaded type situation, and you battling, and you feel as a hitter, that ball's not a strike, and he calls it a strike. You get a chance to challenge it. On the opposite side, we've seen pitchers dot the corner, literally just dot the corner. Umpire call it a ball. It's a big situation. Have to throw another pitch, batter gets a hit. So the game is trying to get better that way, because you should get rewarded for either taking the ball that's a ball or making the pitch that's a strike, and it's actually a strike or a ball. You should get rewarded for that.
So you like this?
I do.
Not to relitigate something that's been kind of been known now for a couple of weeks, but I like it. I like that they still have you've still got humans and still got umpires, but I like the ability when it's so clear and so obvious that you can fix it. I think it's perfect.
It does beg the question, though, if we can get it to where it's instantaneous.
Right.
Why don't we just do it every time? You know what I mean? Obviously, if it's going to take a while where I have to pat my helmet and be like, that's not a strike, that's a ball. But if we could just...
Right.
He throws a pitch, look up a scoreboard, it's there.
And theoretically, they could do it instantly,
It does appear that way, right? So why not? That's my only problem with it. And then, who's to say they don't challenge 2 strikes before this Bogarts at bat, and now we don't even have that to begin with, and now we're going to be like, why don't we just do it in general,
I think like the NFL does, if you win your first 2 challenges, then you should get one more.
You could do that still with their system next year.
But also, Lucas, I think for managers now, you've got to be strategic, because like Ed said, you don't want to challenge a pitch in an inconsequential situation, and then when you actually really need it, you don't have that in your pocket.
Right, and it just adds so much more to your actual strategy to the game.
Yeah.
But I agree with Ed here that, like, if it's possible to do it at any moment, why not do it for every moment? And it brings me back to the NFL too. But they have the microchips in the balls that can help you with first downs and things like that. I mean, they can probably do that based on how you can figure out, how far a ball goes, how fast it goes, all these statistics, and it just feels like we're still stuck in the old days.
Yeah.
For what? For what reason?
Right. I do understand because we've done it like that always. I think.
But I mean, look at tennis. I mean, and soccer and all these other sports. They're thriving using
technology,
as much tech as possible. That, I mean, I don't think anyone would be all that upset.
I agree.
Except for maybe the people who are,
there were those old school people, especially when it comes to baseball. There were a lot of people who are really traditional when it comes to the sport. I think they start little by little. So I think you'll start with the 2 pitches next year. I do think you guys are probably right, though. I think 5 years down the line, you're probably going to have every pitch,
Look at the scoreboard, that's a strike.
Yeah. So anyway, doesn't help the Padres last night. They are clearly very annoyed at what happened. I don't blame them. It was an eventful night for Mac Jones on Thursday Night Football. Not only did the 49ers quarterback nearly vomit on the field, but wait until you see his pregame outfit choice last night in Los Angeles. Stay with us. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. 49ers starting quarterback Brock Purdy and just about everybody else, it seemed, was out last night for the 49ers, but didn't stop the Niners from getting a big win on the road against the Rams in overtime, 26-23. And thanks in large part to backup quarterback Mac Jones. What a really nice night.
Yeah, he wasn't just driving a bus, man. He was really slinging it last night. 33 completions on 49 attempts, 342 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns. And not only that, he got worked. I mean, in the second half, I don't think there was a play where he wasn't either limping, trying to vomit, or having some part of his body rubbed. In fact, in overtime, they kicked a field goal to take the lead.
Right.
He hits the bench, and you can see in his eyes, like, please, God, don't let the Rams tie this up because I cannot come back out. So, hell of a night from him, especially when you consider they're missing Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Nick Bosa. I mean, everybody was missing. He really put the team on
the road, too. But short week also.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very impressive from the 49ers. I mean, what a game. 49 passes, a lot of passes. You wouldn't think on the road like that you're winning a game if you're throwing the ball around, especially with a backup quarterback. But they did.
Can we talk about what he wore?
I think
it needs to be. It needs to be addressed, yeah.
Okay, look, so here's the thing. I love fashion, and I think the biggest thing about fashion is it's how you feel in what you're wearing. But I'm not convinced, looking at Mac Jones and his body language, that he's feeling what he's wearing at all. I think he had a stylist who wanted him to be Joe Burrow, and it flopped. And I think he knows. He's like, I look like an idiot. But if Joe Burrow were to wear that, and he's, strutting around, and he's, presenting himself in a manner that makes you feel like it's swaggy, then it would have worked. But Mac is like, oh boy, I don't know about this one.
He doesn't have that personality.
Yeah.
But he plays, so that's not Joe hasn't really done
more wins
too much
yesterday than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe's looking nice from his couch.
Right, yeah, exactly. Again, it was
feel
a big, we wish Joe Burrow a speedy recovery. A great win for the 49ers, as the Rams have now had two tough losses in a row. Right, the Eagles, that looked like they were going to win the game, and they lose on the blocked field goal. So tough 2 weeks for the Rams. They will look to bounce back. We'll see what Mac Jones wears next week as the 49ers, return for week 6. As for us, we are out of time. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm a lawyer.